Welcome to Voices of the Underground, hosted by Young Ty and Robert Geaux.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another brand new episode of Voices of the Underground EDM podcast, where we like to interview up-and-coming DJs and producers we feel deserve more exposure. Like always, I am your host, Young Ty, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Robert Geaux. How's it going, buddy?
Cheers, man. It's going really good. I've got my Michigan shirt on today, so you know I'm rearing back, ready to go. It's a little after 8 o'clock my time, so I'm getting started a little bit early, but no, I'm excited for today's program.
Super excited as well, too, because we have a mainstream guy on here today that has been on NexChapter, Rave Culture, and Revealed with many, many more labels. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast, STVW. How's it going, buddy?
Yo, guys, what's up? Thank you so much for having me here. Really excited to be on a podcast.
Oh, we're excited to have you. Okay, so I'm going to get straight to it, Steve. We usually say this for later on in the show, but let's kick it off with a bang. You make a lot of bangers. You make a lot of great songs.
Thanks.
What DAW do you use?
Ableton.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Of course.
That is the grown-up DAW. I have to give Ty a hard time about it every single week. This week, I chose to not waste a single moment. Ty, he's an Ableton guy. Ableton for life.
Yeah, how did I know that was already going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, FL Studio is like for like the 10-year-olds, and then you have Ableton, which is like for the grown-ups.
Yes! I love this guy already.
So what you're saying, Steve, is I'm a 10-year-old. Thank you, buddy.
I mean, it can be also something good, you know?
Oh,
if you look, yeah.
This already started out to be one of the best podcasts in the history of podcasts. But Ty, go ahead and you can get into. I know you've got some questions where we can get started with Steve here.
Well, before we get into the questions, let's start like this. Steve, we like to ask our guests how they started and what they were doing before they got into music. Kind of take us on that journey of how the Steve W brand started.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really into like electronic music at all. I was listening to a lot of, like punk rock. I was skateboarding a lot, so I was listening to a lot of like this punk rock music, like Blink-182 and those bands. And yeah, like later on when I got older and when I was like 17, 18, when you start going to clubs and stuff like that, I also like gained more interest in electronic music, and also of course the EDM hype was really coming up at that time. So around 2012 to 2013, around there was like a really huge peak for the EDM scene. And I had a hernia rupture from like the gym, and I had to rest at home for like 2 weeks. And I bought like a couple of weeks before, I bought a guitar at the music store, and I got this demo from Ableton, like a demo software version. And I was like, yeah, okay, why not install it and just mess around, see like if I can make like the next Animals or something. So I installed it and looked up on YouTube like how to make EDM music, and there were not really much tutorials around that time. There were only like a couple of like really bad tutorials that didn't sound anything close to the original song that I was looking for. So I was looking for like the Blaster Check stuff, like Animals, of course, and that like the huge bangers back then, how to make them. And I didn't really find anything that like Tsunami, for example. I think I downloaded like a really bad sample pack for samples that were supposed to sound like Tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I dragged them into my Ableton and messed around with some stuff. I downloaded Silent, didn't know anything about like VSTs. So I just downloaded the demo version, and every like 30 seconds or something, there was this voice coming up like, "Thank you for trying this demo." And I made my first tracks. I started like making like own tracks then with own melodies. Really, really bad. You don't want to hear it. And I discovered this guy, Ollie James. He was like uploading free downloads on YouTube, on SoundCloud, I mean. And it was around the time Ollie also started, but he was already really advanced, I think, around that time, because he made like really good songs that sound really professional to me. And I just reached out to him, and he had like 4,000 followers on SoundCloud or something. And I reached out to him and sent him my first demo with like these vocal things from the silent demo coming up every 30 seconds. Thank you for trying this demo. Like completely random. And he was like, yeah, cool song, bro. Cool, keep going. And so, yeah, whatever. um, but yeah, that's how I basically got into the production thing, and I just kept going from that point on, because it was so fun, and also like it was really interesting to make your own beats and stuff like that. And besides that, around the time I still was doing like a apprenticeship for like software development. um, it was a 3 years apprenticeship, and after the 3 years I started working for a company full time. So I still work there, but only like part time. And yeah, basically I'm like doing a bunch of software development things on the side. And yeah,
Ah, that's how you come up with those cool Instagram filters. You use your
yeah,
real
exactly,
world stuff to work in the music.
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah.
when was your first release then? When did you kind of get things kicking off on the, like you said, as far as like
Uh,
Spotify and all that good stuff?
really late. I started uploading also on SoundCloud. So I basically tried to do everything the same as Ollie did it, because I saw, okay, it's obviously working. So I also uploaded on SoundCloud first, free download stuff, put my songs just up there on SoundCloud, and wasn't even really paying much attention to Spotify back then. SoundCloud was the main platform back then, I think, and I just uploaded for free download, and then tried to get in a lot of these repost chains on SoundCloud and stuff like that. Um, and my first release, I think it was a Chinese label called Moon Recordings. It was like something in 2015, I think. So that was my first release back then, and the song was called Make It Bounce, I think. So it was like, yeah, the typical like 2014, 2015, like big room combined with Melbourne bounce sounds. So that was really huge around that time.
Right. And I think the first time I found out about you was your Crazy Frog remix.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I think it has been played by DJ Micris on the Ultra Miami main stage.
Yeah.
That was really huge for me. It was my first big support, I think. Um, yeah, so really amazing.
Have you always kind of done, like you started off with Big Room when you were getting going? Did you try experiment with other different genres, or was it really just kind of a Big Room was a central focus initially?
At the beginning was just like big room, but then I also started to gain interest in like, you know, like pop productions. I did a lot of like pop remixes also, like released. I don't know if you heard them, like on this label called Strange Fruits. Um, so yeah, I started to do a lot of like pop stuff, and also tried some, of course, progressive house. I tried basically everything, because it was just so interesting how different all the productions are. And I mean, you always have a kick and stuff like that, so but the genres are so completely different to produce.
Right. Right. And
Yeah.
at what point did you say, okay, I can do this? Like I've made it. Like when you made this track, you say, okay, I know this is going to be a commercial success. Like at what point did you have
Oh,
that aha moment?
oh, never. Never.
Whoa, come on.
Like, I mean, the first, like the first moment where I really thought, okay, this could be going somewhere,
Mhm.
was after my bootleg with Ollie James, like the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg next episode,
Yeah.
because it was supported by Hardwell on Air back then. And that was like the first, like, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like Hardwell is supporting my song. So I have to keep going, keep going. Maybe I can release on Revealed someday. Um, but like when you finish a song, you never have the feeling, okay, this is gonna be a huge hit. You always think, okay, this is nice. I just send to a label and see what happens. Because like in most cases, the songs that you think are your best and they're gonna be like really huge and gonna get signed for sure, are the ones that gonna reject it by every label.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it in the green room, and I'm going to bring it up now. But that's the way I felt about it still might be one of my favorite songs from you, which is Warrior, which is a Dead ID that you had done with Kevin, I think in 2019, somewhere in there. That song for me was so inspirational, though. That's what got me kind of hooked on your sound. I really started to dive deeper into your catalog. We call him this, like my buddy and I, his name's Swendel, he loves you too. And it's like, we call him the STVW leads. They're so distinct, so big, so rich. Yeah. What happened to this song? I have people in Discord groups that I talk to that would like to know why this song never saw the light of day.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think I got the initial idea sent from Kevu. Like it was the main melody and like a basic setup for the drop, and I started building around this theme with like Warrior. You know, I started implementing like these epic like harp sounds or guitar sounds or what it was, and then you know, like just try to build around that theme. And yeah, we also thought it's a really cool track because the melody is so catchy. But yeah, labels didn't think that it was a cool track.
And
And
you were saying that happens a lot, though. You've got a lot of really good tracks that people like. It's just scheduling or whatever the case is. It just doesn't make it.
yeah, and also sometimes let's take Rave Culture for an example. I send something to Rave Culture. They think the track is cool, but then 2 weeks later, I sent them another track. They think it's better than the last one. Of course, the last one doesn't get released then. And yeah, that's just how it is, I think.
The nature of the beast. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We have so many tracks like laying around on our hard drive. Probably will never come out.
Do you consider yourself like a fast producer? Are you able to like crank out tracks, relatively quickly, or are you more on the methodical side where it takes a couple weeks? Because we've heard both sides of the spectrum from our guests.
Yeah, it's completely different for every song. Like let's take Time Capsule for example. Like the idea for Time Capsule, or also for Control Your Mind, I had it done in like 1 or 2 days. But then there are other songs like Heartbreak, for example. I had the break melody laying around for like 3 months or something, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then all of a sudden it clicked when I found these cool vocal chops. I start putting together all the pieces. So it's really different. But when I have an idea, it's really fast because I know because back then it wasn't like this because I was really slow. I had to figure out, okay, how can I process the leads, or how do I have to process the leads to make them sound like this? But now I know it and I just do it, and it's really quick when I have the idea. So yeah, it's mostly the hardest part is to get the right idea.
Well, you said you were heavily influenced by like Blink 182 and pop sounds and all that too. Were you in some kind of band or something back in the day? That was one of the questions from our Discord.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a band. It was like just a bunch of friends playing, like, just jamming and stuff like that. So we never really had any like gigs or something. It was just like fun back then.
That's awesome. What instrument did you play in this kind of makeshift band?
Guitar, yeah, guitar.
Oh, nice. That explains why I like Warriors so much. Okay, because I think somebody else, and I think if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Ty, someone asked what guitars you use in your songs. Do you have like a certain go-to
Yeah,
VST for that?
actually, I have a bunch of guitars. I have like 4 electric guitars, 1 acoustic guitar, and 2 of them are like I have one signature Blink 182 Tom DeLonge Fender Stratocaster,
Wow.
and I have another one that's like from Tom DeLonge. It's like a rebuild of his sticker Strat from like 1998, I think. And like a friend of mine who's like a guitar guy, he did it, and I just bought it from him for a couple €100. And yeah, that's what like those 2 guitars I'm using like the most in my tracks, like in almost every track.
Oh, that's sick. So this isn't just some like Nexus guitar out of EDM.
No, it's real.
This is the real
guitar.
deal.
It's me playing.
Oh, no wonder I like Warriors so much. Then it's the real thing.
Yeah. No, I think actually Warrior was like a synth guitar, Like
Okay.
I didn't, yeah, back then I didn't really think about like implementing my real guitars into an EDM production. I, it, I started doing it in like 2020 or something, I think.
Okay, so this is a new thing for you to bring in your essentially sample your own guitars and to implement them in your tracks.
Yeah, I think the first track where I really like did it was like this collab with Black Coat called Collide. There you can hear some guitars that are recorded, and then the first song that I basically implemented this punk rock, pop punk influence was like Memories that I released last year in summer.
Banger, absolute banger. So, okay, so yeah, Ty, you touched on it as far as like being in a band and whatnot. Do you have anybody that you want to collab with? You've done a lot, right? You've collabed with some really heavy hitters, obviously the list Axmo, Ollie James, and so forth and so forth. Do you have anybody you say maybe outside of EDM that you would want to have a dream collab with?
Within the EDM world, of course, would be really huge to collaborate with Timmy Trumpet, for example, would be really nice. Um, of course, W&W. But yeah, besides that, I think I'm most interested in collaborating with like Travis Barker or Mark Hoppus or like let's say Blink 182 as a band, but that's
That would be epic.
like very far from now, maybe like in the future. Let's see.
Yeah, we can all dream. It's cool though because again, you've had a lot of commercial success, but you still have guys that you're hoping to kind of collaborate with as well, and a lot of underground guys
Yes,
feel
for
that way
sure.
about you, which is
Yeah, it would be really nice. I make maybe let's say I make a EDM song that has like Travis Barker drums on it. Would be insane, but
dude, that would be nuts, especially
let's
like
see
with a
what the
live
future
guitar.
brings. Yeah, exactly.
That'd be
Yeah,
sick.
that's also the plan in the future for the live shows when they start coming back at some point. Let's see, to bring the guitar to live shows and stuff.
Well, speaking of live shows and all that, how's it going around your area?
Not everything is closed. Like nightlife is completely dead.
Jesus, still, it's been 2 years into this, Ty.
Yeah, because we talk about it almost every podcast that we want these
Yeah,
festivals and live shows to come back so
yeah, it
bad.
really sucks. And I think they also just canceled EDC Portugal.
Really,
Yeah, I think I heard something. So yeah,
dude, that's
let's see when
insane.
it ends.
Yeah, because they've had EDC here in the States, this past October. It's just so inconsistent. I know you guys have struggled with it as well over in Europe.
Yeah, in Europe it's absolutely different.
Yeah, so inconsistent. So, do you have a live show that you tend to go to yourself, or that you've played that's extremely memorable for you?
Yes, actually, I was from my software developer job. I was in LA back in 2016, I think, or 2015. I don't remember. But I went to this club, uh, Academy or something
Yeah,
in LA,
Yeah.
It's in LA. Yep.
and there was this like neon party with like Chunky Kid and Dirty Audio and a bunch of other guys. And Dirty Audio actually played my bootleg together with Ollie James. And it was so random because all of a sudden this bootleg came on, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck? This is my bootleg! This is my bootleg!"
Yeah.
Because I was there with a friend that hit me up on Twitter, and I've known him for a while back then already, and he's from LA, so we were going to the party together. And I was like, whoa, this is my bootleg, this is my bootleg. And it was absolutely crazy.
So that's completely organic. You had no idea. So you're just essentially in the show. You're going to crowd, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, this sounds familiar. What the?
Yeah.
That's
And he
got to
was
be
just
such a
playing it.
rush.
Yeah, that was I think the best moment so far back then. Really crazy.
Yeah. No, that's wild, man. Um, so how do you like? Do you come to the States often? Do you come here? Like, what's your schedule like, man?
So I think the last time I was in the States was 2017 with my girlfriend. We did like um, a small tour from New York to LA to Las Vegas and then back to LA. So it was really nice. And I've been in the States a couple of times when I was very young, like 4 or 5 with my parents. So yeah, I really love America. Can't wait to be back.
Yeah, dude, we can't wait to have you back. Are you kidding me? Especially with the catalog you've put together. Like, it's it's interesting because looking at your catalog, you have a lot of diversity in genres. Like, okay, so we touched on it before.
Yeah,
The Bass Hunters, the remix, the festival that you just dropped,
yeah,
um,
exactly.
absolute gas, 150. Like, but then you've got other tracks like on NexChapter, things that are different BPMs. Is that intentional for you? Do you try to look to touch on different genres and kind of think about like how you construct a DJ set, or is it just something that you're really feeling at that time, or what's the
Yeah,
process for you?
yeah, just what I'm feeling. I just make whatever I feel like at the moment. So when it's a faster track, I make a faster track. When I feel like doing a pop track, I make a pop track. Even if it never comes out, but
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So you just do what you love to do, because what
yeah,
we talk to producers all the time, and they, it's like, hey, you got to stick to one genre, otherwise you're not going to be known, or whatever the case
Right.
is. But an example of your case, you're just doing what you want to do, right?
yeah. I mean, of course, the focus is on big room. But I also try to like for example, this one ID from the WW set. That's a bit faster, and it's also coming out soon. So yeah, I mean, you don't always have to only do one genre. It doesn't really make sense nowadays anymore to only make one genre because then you're not really developing your production skills, you know. Back then it was like completely different because you had to make like this one genre to get booked and everything. But now the DJ sets also changed a lot. You know, DJs play like big room, they play like future rave, and then at the end of the set they play hardstyle. So yeah, it also changed a lot for producers. Like you have so many possibilities to release different tracks and make different tracks.
Yeah, I'm the anointed president of the Uptempo fan club. So I'm I'm always trying to get guys to go a little faster and kind of get out of that kind of the old status quo a little bit, even if it's
Yeah,
big room. Are you so okay? So I guess that leads me to my next question. Where the scene and kind of where it's going? Are you seeing a change? Like things are getting a little faster as far as BPM and just in general. Where are you kind of seeing things right now?
I mean, yeah, because like guys like W&W and Exmo, they're also coming from like the big room, like big room origin, but they also try faster stuff, and everybody wants to try faster stuff because it's just fun, you know. Like a happy hardcore track at the end of the set is just really fun to play. So it I think it won't change in a way that like everybody is only gonna play faster tracks in their sets, but of course I think this mix between like big room and other stuff, like also faster stuff, of course, then is really gonna yeah grow when the shows are coming back.
Right, right. Have you played like in countries like China where it's
No, not
typically a
yet.
lot faster? Is that something that you would want to do? Like, do you have like a dream like country or city that you would really want to put on a show at?
Mm, yeah, I think America too would be really nice. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I could see you in Vegas. I could see you in Vegas just absolutely throwing down, dude.
Now I got a question for you. We discussed this in the last episode. The top genres of EDM, tech house coming in number one, and then dance coming in number two. What do you consider dance?
I think it's yeah, you can put everything on dance. I mean, tech house or like tropical house, or whatever. Like dance, I think is yeah, it's hard. I think what they mean with dance is like the dance tracks that are playing on the radio, like the EDM tracks that are playing on the radio. I think that's what they mean with dance.
Yeah, like your Alan Walkers and all that.
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. Because it's not really pop. Yeah, of course it's pop, but it's also yeah, it's dance. I think dance is actually a really good description for their style.
Yeah. So okay, I have to ask you about this. I want to ask you about your Discord a little bit. You
Yeah,
have
sure.
what, over 700 members in there. You've done a fantastic job. Um, and it's funny because I was going through your tiers, kind of getting prepared for this, and it's interesting. You offer a lot of different things that other maybe EDM guys aren't doing. Like in one of your tiers, you offered to master these guys' tracks. Like that's huge for
Yes.
the community. So do you find that like giving back different things has really been beneficial and have helped out a lot of different producers?
Yeah, I think I wanted to make it like the Discord. I think I was one of the first guys in the big room scene that did a Discord. Nobody knew about Discord. So it was also really like only growing very slow at the beginning because nobody had it. Nobody was using Discord really. But I thought it's really cool to build a community there because it's so easy, with the channels, you can put your free downloads on there. People can just grab it whenever they want. So I thought it's a really cool idea to build an EDM community around your artist thing. And also for the Patreon, I wanted, of course, wanted to make it different than like Ollie James and Hussman. There are not so many guys in the big room scene that are doing a Discord, so it's only like Ollie James, Hussman, and KVU, I think. And I, of course, didn't want to just make the same stuff because people won't really benefit from it. They can also get the same stuff then on the Ollie James Discord. He's been doing it for like 5 years or something. So, Patreon, I mean. But so I was thinking, what can I do different than all the other guys? So I came up with like a bunch of stuff that I think would be helpful for like upcoming producers and fans.
Yeah, because you've been helping out guys for a long time, right? You had like tutorial Thursdays.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
yeah. So pretty much all the things that you preface that weren't in existence when you were starting, you've kind of put that out into the community.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the goal, basically, to create stuff that I was missing when I started out, that I think would be helpful for upcoming producers.
And yeah, and on your Discord, you've had like events where you've had Axmo and Kevu and those boys on, and you're just
Yes,
kind of interacting with everyday, producers and fans, right?
yes, exactly. So I also thought it would be a really cool idea to get everybody together and just, talk about music and production, or also the scene, where the scene is going, stuff like that. And people, like, we got such a great feedback on all the talks we did. So yeah, I think it's really helpful for the guys.
And also on your Discord, you have a channel for sports and
Yes,
Yep.
American
yes,
football, which is great. And
yes,
I was talking about this before. It's cool to have an overseas guys into American football. Now it's something that you picked up, you said during quarantine, right? You kind of started watching stuff
yes,
over here.
exactly. Actually, a friend of mine was like watching it for like a couple of years already, and he was always like, "Yeah, let's watch the Super Bowl." And I was like, "Yeah, no, bro, I don't even know anything about football. Why should I watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense." But then when like the quarantine stuff started, I was watching some games and I started digging into the rules, and just try to understand how everything works. And I really liked it, so really cool.
Yeah, it's a complicated game, but okay. So, have you picked up a favorite team in the NFL yet? Do you have a team that you specifically root for?
Yeah, that's really hard because I don't really have like a personal connection to the teams. So
Yeah.
I'm not from America and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the player like Mahomes. I
Yeah.
like a lot. So it's more like different like players and not so much the teams.
Oh, dude, that you put it in your Discord. Like you were like, "Hey, did anyone watch those? Did anyone watch the playoffs this weekend when Mahomes came back with 13 seconds left to win the
That was
game?
Yeah,
crazy.
Those games were
yeah,
epic, man.
insane,
That's yeah,
insane. Yeah, I just love to watch it in general, so not really rooting for a team or anything. But it would be really nice if the Rams, for example, get into the Super Bowl. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
I'm thinking it's the yeah. I think we're seeing Rams and Chiefs. I put it on your Discord.
that
I'm
would be
calling my
really
shot.
nice.
Yeah, I think it's dude. That game's gonna be epic too.
Yeah, I
You've got
think
two
so.
high powered teams, so that'll be fun to watch.
We got a question from our Discord, and one of them is, "How do you make your lead so fat?"
Mm, yeah, I mean, what I also tell everybody who's sending demos, most of the time the leads are just like too thin, but I know they used so many layers, and that's the reason, because they sound so thin. Um, so for me, the key is like I always try to like only pick a couple layers, like one main layer, and then around that main layer, try to find layers to complement the main layer with. And for me, it's like I barely do any processing on the leads, like on the individual leads layers. The only thing I do is like compression, like OTT and stuff on the lead bus, and then of course the reverb and stuff like that. So for me, it's more like finding the right sounds and don't do any processing in it. And I think that's my secret. Let's say secret, but
So not overdoing it. So you don't have 12 Nexus leads pumping trying to
no,
get No, that's great. So less is more in your case. You're just talking about
exactly.
fine tuning. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because
Nice.
I've also been there where I just layer like 15 different spires and silent and stuff like that. And with every layer that I added, the lead sounded thinner and thinner. And I was like, oh my God, why? I'm adding more layers. It has to be bigger. But yeah, at one point I just thought, okay, I'm going to put more time into the layering and sound selection. And it will pay off in the end because you also have way more headroom and stuff like that. So I always had the problem to get like the mass really loud to like -4, -5 LUFS. I always had a problem with that, and I couldn't really understand why. The main reason was because my leads were also really like too narrow, too much in the center, and not spread out wide in the stereo spectrum. So that was also a really huge mistake some of the upcoming producers make. They just keep everything really in the center, but in the center you also already have your kick and your bass and your percussions most of the time. And then you want to spread out the leads, of course, really wide and really wide in the stereo spectrum. And that way you also achieve a loud master.
That's how you get the Steve W leads, boys. Right there.
Yes, sir.
That's the secret.
So the next question is kind of a funny one. It's from Andre from Axmo. He goes, he goes, "Why are your legs so horny? What's the story behind that? I did not get that.
What?
I did not get that."
Yeah, so basically we were in WW's house for like a songwriting boot camp, and it was a great day. It was really sunny and warm, and the boys like Morten and Andre wanted to take photos. So we went outside in the garden, and Andre gave me his iPhone, and he had this setting on the iPhone with this very huge lens. I don't know what it was, but I was taking the pictures, and their legs were just really long and really huge, and the bodies were like this, and the legs like this. It was just looking very funny. And yeah, that's why we had this inside joke then, like with the horny legs.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah,
do you hang
crazy.
out with? Do you guys do a lot of that? Like you talk about like writing boot camps and things like that. I know what WW they bought that was in Portugal, right? When in their with their new house out there.
Yes.
Nice. So
Yeah.
yeah, do you guys interact a lot like that on the RC fam or?
Like I think this was the first time we did something like this, like in person. But yeah, let's see in the future. It was really fun, so I think we're gonna do it again. But most of the time it's over internet, like WhatsApp and stuff like that. But of course, Andre and Morten are also from Germany, so I've been to Hamburg already a couple times, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of talent out in Germany. Yourself, of course, Axmo, Len. Like, there's some really
Yeah,
like
but the
really.
scene is very small. Like it's
Mhm.
only like of course like me, Exmo, then there are some upcoming guys like Ragunde, TBR. But besides that, like Declane is also like he had a couple released on Maximize. But besides that, the big room or EDM production scene is very small in Germany.
Well, besides the names you just mentioned, are there anybody else that you see coming up in the underground scene to keep an eye on?
Like outside of Germany.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah, definitely. So the guys that I mentioned, like Ragunde, TBR, are really talented. Um, EMKR are also really great guys. Um, they have some really good songs. Also, yeah, I think think also like from my Patreon, there's also some really talented guys on there, like Shift and Palm. He's also from Germany. Or Mark Blue, he's also from Germany. He's also really talented. So there are a lot of guys actually that have really potential to come up to the next big.
Yeah, it sounds like you stay pretty connected with some of the underground guys and what's going on down there, right? Because you've done things like in other discords and like the Intensity Discord and whatnot. So you've had interactions with these types of artists.
Yes, of course, it's very important to keep the connection up to those like let's say underground artists, because they're going to be the next, like where me or Exmo, for example, are now. They're going to be there the next guys, and it's really important just to keep the connections going, and yeah,
Nice,
just
nice.
support them as well because they're so talented. I
Mhm.
also deserve like some support, of course.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, you talk about support, and it's like on your Discord, you have a playlist submission that you
Yes,
do
exactly.
for guys. And you've put one of my tracks on there. You tell me it was awesome, man. Like so you do a lot for the underground community for sure.
Yeah, I really try to do as much as I can because I've also been there, and also I also got some help from other guys that were bigger around that time, and I think it's just really important to help each other and yeah, do as much as you can for those underground guys.
Right. And what I like about this EDM scene in general is that everybody seems to be so friendly and just helping everybody out. That it's not like, oh, this is my spot. I don't want you to take it. Like, come on, build yourself up and you can get to where I'm at.
Yeah, of course. It's exactly like that. So, of course, there's some guys that think like that way, that you might be taking away some spot from them. But most guys are really, really chill and really supportive.
Right, right. So looking ahead here in this 2022 year, what are your goals? Like, what are you looking to kind of achieve? Do you set those for yourself and your process behind that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wanna get my first like solo release on Rave Culture. That's a really huge goal for me because I've been working on so many collaborations recently. So the guys told me, yeah, you also have to do some solo stuff. But for me, it's always really fun to work together, and for example, with Exmo and stuff like that, it's so much fun to just exchange ideas and work on the song together. But yeah, so the solo release is of course a huge goal. Then live shows are a huge goal. Just keep pushing the sound with my punk rock influences. I want to just keep doing it, and yeah, I think besides that, just try everything that's possible. I work hard and work as much as I can. Put out as much songs as I can. So that basically are the main goals. And of course, like the collaborations, the bigger collaborations would be really nice, but let's see what happens in the future.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like you said, we all kind of have those, Dream Club goals for sure. I'm certain you are at the top of a lot of people's list in the underground scene that you kind of mentioned before. So do you get a lot of demos though? That because you talk about like the biggest problems when people send you stuff. Do you see a
Yes.
lot of that?
Yes, of course, of course. I almost every day, and I also check all of them out. Maybe not like on the same day, but I definitely check them out. And there are some really cool ideas sometimes, but I only like it's hard. You only have to pick like the best ones, like when you really feel an idea and they think it could be going somewhere. Only that I'm gonna tell the guys, okay, let's work on it, because I don't wanna, tell them, okay, let's work on it, but then I never work on it because I don't really feel the idea. And that's what a lot of guys are doing usually. When you ask them for code, they just say yes and they never work on it. And I just tell them, yeah, man, it's a really cool idea, but I don't really feel it, because I want to be honest with them. Because it's not helping me and it's not helping them if I tell them, yeah, it's a cool track and I'm going to work on it, but I'm never going to work on it actually. So
Right.
yeah, only like pick collabs when I really, really feel the idea 100%.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And so, what do you? Okay, Now you're in the studio probably quite a bit, right? Presumably you're always working on something. You've always got releases. What do you do
Yeah.
when you're not in the studio? What do you do to kind of get away from music and blow off some steam?
So yeah, I go to the gym a lot. That's my main thing for blowing off the steam.
Yeah, I saw that in your
So
stories. You're back
yeah,
at
yeah,
it. I just saw it yesterday. I think you're getting going. No, that's good.
yeah, gym, and yeah. Besides that, I gotta be honest. I'm basically working like as much as I can. So I go to the gym, and of course I have my normal job, and then the rest of the time I spend on the studio working or with my girlfriend watching some series. That's my usual
Your get
daily
your
routine.
getaway.
Yeah, and I started last year. I also started playing League of Legends.
Oh, dude.
So yeah, that's my night activity then. Yeah,
I
like
hear
every
that gets
night I do.
pretty competitive. I hear it's pretty intense.
Yeah, yeah, but I play with like Morton and some other guys, and it's really funny.
Nice. So yeah, you guys have a really connected community. That's like one of my biggest takeaways. Like some of the stories that you've told, even off cameras. You guys are really close and connected with one another in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that just makes for a good label too, like having your artists close together and connected.
Yeah, I mean it's like in like a company, when you have all your employees when they get along really well and they're all like friends and stuff like that, it's automatically better than if everybody's just fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Um, it's not good for
Have you
like the
experienced that before though, where you've done a collab and you're like, look, I just cannot fucking work with this guy? Have you had like the negative side of the industry? Have you seen any of that, experienced that firsthand?
Mm, not really, to be honest, because I like when I started, I was working a lot with Mount Black, like they're from Florida, and yeah, we just clicked. Like every time we worked on something, it was so easy and so chill and so much fun. And then I started doing like the collabs with ANG, with Kevu, and they're all great guys. So and I never really had the problem that I thought, okay, I cannot work with this guy.
Damn, you're one of the lucky ones, Steve. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I know.
We've heard a lot of bad stories that went down between people collabing and stuff.
Yeah, you've been able to stay away from that. So let me ask you this: you still get you said it before, right? You still get demos rejected by big labels, even though with your status in the scene, like these things still happen to you, right?
Yeah, but it happens to everybody.
Exactly, and that's because
Yeah,
I
it's
wanted to
just
touch on
normal.
that. Yeah, because we have guys who get super down or discouraged that we've seen, like who want or even afraid to send things in. But can you talk about like the rejection process and like how you, even the bigger guys, have to go through this to kind of get to where they need to go?
Yeah, I think what I learned throughout the years is that you don't connect, like don't get a personal or don't get attached too much to a song that you're working on, like personally, because that way you will be really disappointed when it gets rejected. And let's be honest, like 70% I think of the stuff that you make gets rejected.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
That's
totally.
that's just how it is.
I agree with. We've said it before. Do not fall in love with that one particular track because if nobody, if it doesn't work out for you, then it'll trickle into your future endeavors, your future tracks.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, of course, it sucks when you get rejections, but back then I was also really like discouraged and thought, oh man, I'm not gonna do this anymore. This was my last song. But you just keep going, and then you have the next demo and the next demo, and then you get one signed again. Then you get like 10 other demos, they get rejected again. Then you get what's one signed again. So yeah, it's for everybody. It's the same.
Yeah, it should just be the motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
exactly,
the most
exactly.
important thing is that you love what you do and that you love producing music. Then it doesn't really matter if you get rejected or not. I mean, if you get a song rejected that you think is really huge and the fans will love it, then just do a self-release. You have all the possibilities nowadays, all the tools, all the technology to just put out a song yourself. I also did it a couple of times already.
I was gonna say, yeah, we've talked about it before about self-releasing, and sometimes it does even better than the labels.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also something the upcoming producers have to understand, because they're releasing on such small labels that are not really actual labels, because they're just like some, they just have a SoundCloud page and a Spotify stuff, and that's it. It's not really a label, and they don't see any royalties or something from the songs, and also the promotion is not really great. So they would be better off just releasing on their own, probably.
Right. Was Summer Rave was a self-release, wasn't it? Was it
Yes,
not?
yes, exactly.
I fucking love that song, dude. And yeah,
Thanks.
I remember hearing that song, and I saw it on a 1001 track list, and it was self-released, and I was like, really? I was a bit surprised, dude. That's a really cool creative song. And yeah, you as a guy who's been on big labels, obviously, you still self-release. I thought that was just fantastic and a really good message for people.
Yeah, I think it's really important, just when you like a song, like personally, when you just like it and you think it could be cool for the fans, and the fans will also like it, and it's gonna get some support from DJs and stuff like that. Just put it out yourself. Why not?
Yeah, why not? No, dude, that was a good
We have
song
all the
too. So,
tools available. We have all the tools
Oh
available
yeah,
nowadays.
oh,
It's
dude,
so easy.
I get so mad, like in a nice way, but I get mad at guys when they talk about this, because when I was in high school, when I was their fucking age, I'm gonna date
Yeah,
myself. We didn't have the internet. I grew up in the
nothing,
'90s. Yeah, there was no internet in the '90s to start uploading your stuff to your self-releasing.
nothing. You had to get your CD tape or tapes printed, and put the
Yeah,
copies into your local record store.
yeah, no, dude. I'm a senior citizen of EDM over here, and and but yeah, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have these things until right to 2000. So yeah, you talked about it. There's so many resources now for guys to
Yeah.
get heard and to get out there, and like you provide those through your Discord, and so many different ways for guys to be found.
Yeah, I think most people are just scared to like put it up themselves, and
Mhm.
maybe they think they won't get as much streams or anything because they don't have the connections to like big playlists or something. But the labels they're releasing on also don't have any connections, and then they end up with like 10,000 streams after like a month. It's not really worth it to give all the money to the label then.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna self-release something next month. I didn't even send it out to any labels. I just want to self-release it because I want to do the art. How I promote it. I just want to be in control of that. And like I
Yeah,
said, I
and
think
it's also
that's
really interesting how all those things work. Like the promotion, if you have to do everything yourself, it's really interesting to reach out to playlists and negotiate with them and stuff like that. Just see how everything behind the scenes works. Because usually when you're releasing on a label, you don't see all of that stuff.
right. Exactly. The more you know in this business, the more you can do. Like you said, because it's a 360 thing, right? Like it's you talk about promotional stuff. It's not just about the music. It's everything else in the music business.
Yeah,
Especially as
exactly.
guys advance their career, they have to kind of start to understand those things.
Exactly.
So okay, so we've covered a ton. We have covered like a ton of ground with you
a
here so
lot.
far. If you were, this is a question I have. This is a personal question. I love asking this. If you weren't a music producer, right? If this is just something that you never were exposed to yet, what else would you be doing in life? If this was just something that was never available.
Ah, that's our question, because I'm still working as a software development. So I think, yeah, probably a software development stuff, or also like a personal trainer or something like that. I
Okay,
also like
okay,
cooking a lot, so maybe a chef. I don't know. There's so many
A lot of good
possibilities.
options.
nice. See, we could have had it. We could have had a Steve W. cooking Discord, man. But we'll
Yeah.
never know what we're missing.
Let's talk about it. Pineapple on pizza? That was a question.
Oh, let's go. All right,
Yeah,
here we
of
go.
course. Works
Oh
Fucking
man,
perfectly
come on.
together.
Come on,
dude.
man.
Yes. No,
Yeah, for
dude,
sure.
Steve, thank you. I've been getting just ripped. I mean, just absolutely cracked over this, dude. I get so much heat. And yeah, I'm Filipino. Of course, I'm going to have pineapple on pizza. And as I say, I don't do it every fucking time, but it is absolutely delicious when I do. So I'm glad that
Yeah,
there's another guy on here.
totally agree. Totally agree.
First Ableton, now this.
dude.
Yeah.
This is, man, this is, I'm telling you, this cements it. Definitely best podcast in the history of podcasts. Ableton, Pineapple Pizza, like you said, beautiful. My day is
Love
made. I
it.
am good. I had a buddy of mine. He'd asked me, "Do you see yourself going back to like your old revealed style tracks?"
That's a hard question. I don't think so because um, you also have to adjust a little bit, to the current style that's trending and in big room. And I don't really see people enjoying that stuff anymore. Maybe I'm also completely wrong, but if labels start to release it again, like that kind of like 2016 kind of big room, why not?
Yeah, because Sebastian Mateo made a tweet about it, about everybody complaining that they wanted to go back to that 2016, 2017 era of Big Room. And
Oh, why? Just adjust to the current state of big room.
Yeah,
yeah, everything evolves over time and all that, and you have to adapt to what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because he's adjusted his sound. So this actually is a great lead-in because I wanted to ask you about Maddox, right? And you've known the Ollie James from his early big room sound. They have made some pretty big shifts, right, in the last 2 years. What do you think about that? What do you think about them kind of evolving, if you will, to something different?
Yeah, it's completely fine, I think, because you don't, as I said before, you don't always have to stick like to one specific style or something. Um, that doesn't really make sense because at some point everything is done in that style, and it's so hard to come up with new stuff, and that's also interesting and fresh. So Ollie did a really great job, I think, because he took his like roots from the original Big Room stuff from way back in like 2013 or something, and combined it with like faster stuff that's really trending now.
Yeah,
So with
no,
his rave room stuff, really cool.
I love when artists blend genres and are able to
Yeah,
kind
of
of
course.
cross over. It's so interesting to me when they're
Yeah,
able to successfully do that.
that's the future basically. I think like with every new like big genre, I would say it's when a producer combined two different things together and then something completely new. You're basically creating something completely new, and that's really really cool.
Yeah, and Maddox and Ollie James and like David
Yeah,
Guetta and Morton and all that are kind of paving the way to the new sound in the future, I
yeah.
believe.
I mean, all these future rave leads, they've been around for ages. They,
Hmm.
in those like tech house or productions and stuff like that, like these with the slow attack and stuff. They've been around for ages, but they combine it with like more club heavy, like kick and bass line. Works perfectly together. Really nice, and with
Yeah,
a trancey melody, really cool.
yeah, dude, I love their stuff. I think, and I don't think these are trends, right? Because like obviously it's trending now, but I think it's going to be around for a while. I don't think this is just a fad, I should
I
say.
mean, big room was also just a trend back then, and it's still around. And people always say, "Yeah, big room will die next year" and stuff like that. Absolutely stupid because even like let's say I don't know rock or pop punk or something. It's also like Machine Gun Kelly is just bringing like the pop punk back from like the 2000s. You know, like all these genres are always there. It's just a matter of like how hyped they are and how many people are doing that kind of music. But it will always be there, I think.
Oh yeah, Machine Gun Kelly and all that. What he's doing right now, like you mentioned, I think he's doing great with it. By the way.
Yeah, of course, because like Travis Barker is like producing all this stuff, and he always has his hands in all the productions, and he's always like trying to find these new kids, like also Jaden or something, like all these new guys that are doing like the Blink style music now. They're all like mentored by Travis Barker, and he's really killing it, I think.
Well, everything comes back full circle
Yeah,
for the
of
most
course,
part.
it's all just everything comes back in circles, fashion, music, everything.
Okay, this is something that you two have talked about, and I'm really curious because I want to bring this to the forefront. Um, NFTs.
Yeah.
NFTs in the music industry, my personal opinions are fucking fantastic. Like, I'm telling you, as a guy who grew up in the 80s, if you'd have told us there's going to be this thing called the internet and you can go anywhere, like some people would have been afraid, oh, that's never going to last. I saw it when the internet had the initial tech boom and then things crashed or whatever. And now here it is. We literally cannot live without it. I feel like NFTs it's going to be very similar in a digital space. You're kind of an expert, if you will, on that. You dabble a lot into that, right?
Yeah, I'm not really expert. I just, try to get some information on it, and I've been watching it since last year, and it's a crazy technology. Like, I think in the future it will definitely, also the people said about the internet, yeah, internet is just a fad. It will go away. Nobody's using. Why should I go to um, why should I shop shoes online if I can go to the store? And now
Yeah.
everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it will also be the same for NFTs. The only thing that I think is like the problem right now is that there's so many like also scam projects and stuff like that. And the huge brands, let's say like if Nintendo would make Pokemon cards, for example, as
Yep.
NFTs, that would be huge. Then I think a lot of people would actually buy some of these cards because it's just cool, it's a brand, a really big, well-known brand. But like all these random projects that are coming up right now, I think it's really hard at
Yeah,
the
because
moment.
you and I talked about it, like Rob mentioned about NFTs and stuff, and you don't know what you're investing into, and you don't know
Exactly.
what NFT is going to blow up. So I agree with you on the Nintendo and the Pokemon thing, because you and I have talked about that in Discord and stuff. Um, I would love to own like a Pokemon NFT and all that, because it's childhood for me, man. Back in the
Yeah.
day, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but
nostalgic.
also let's say the NFL, they would make like cards of all the players. It would be really nice to collect, digitally. It's really
Yeah.
sick. But at the moment, like all these apes and stuff, it's just so random. Like there's not really a brand behind it.
Yep.
Yeah, like NFL tickets are now becoming NFTs. So you're seeing I imagine what a Super Bowl ticket would then be as an NFT. Like that's
Yeah,
huge. So I
insane.
agree. Like I was there for the internet boom, and yeah, it's right now in the NFTs. It's the Wild West. Like there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of spikes. It's a very volatile community. I think once everybody kind of gets regulated and understanding what
Yes,
it is,
exactly.
I think it'll get a little bit more legitimate and kind of taper off
Yes.
and explode to what it will be. I like the idea though of artists getting into the NFT space. I know it's a very touchy subject. Sabers had to
Sabers.
go right, and I was so on board with what they were doing because it's forward thinking. But I guess and when people come up with new ideas, they tend to get they tend to get a lot of
Yeah.
flack for it. I think that is a really good thing for artists. What's your take on that? Do you see artists doing more of those NFT projects for their music?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see it because the technology is really cool. Yeah, as I said, the only problem I think is just too early right now because a lot of people don't even know what NFTs are. Um, a lot of scam projects and stuff, so it really sheds like a bad light on the NFT world, NFT space. But I think in the future, it definitely will be something that a lot of artists gonna be using.
Right, right, right. And you guys, you're a Pokemon card guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Okay,
also grew up on all those
you gotta
cards
talk
and
about
stuff.
that
Yep.
because yeah, you and Ty talk about. Tell us what it's like for your collection.
I mean, like recently, so basically, I like I also when I was a kid, I had all the cards, of course. But at some point, when you get older, when you're like 14 and 15, other things are getting interesting, and I just sold all my cards back then for like 50 euros or something. Of course, they were also not in really good condition because I played with them and stuff, but still, it's really sad. Um, but recently, like the last 2 or 3 years, I've been getting back into the collecting, and also Pokemon released the 25th celebration anniversary package and stuff like that. So I've been collecting some boosters there, and I finally have the three starters um, together now. And yeah, it's just nice to see all the cars that you used to have back then. Um, just have them again. Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's really
nostalgia.
nice.
Something like this.
Nice, nice. Yes, amazing. I also have a
I'm looking at
sealed
all my
one.
stuff right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also have a sealed one here. Really cool. Yeah. It's
Wow.
just
Look at
nice
you
to
guys.
collect the cards again that you used to play with as a kid.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it in DM and stuff that you bought stuff off of eBay, and I was looking at what you got, and I got so jealous, man, because
Yeah,
the nostalgia
of
of it.
course they're not really in the best condition, but it's just nice to have the
It's to
cards
have it, yeah.
again and yeah, look at them and so many memories attached to the cards.
Well, you got to think too, like our parents, like you and I talked about, have things that they still collect too to this day. So there's no harm in doing it.
Yeah, I mean like stamps and coins and stuff like that, you know. Like
Old
all the
records.
yeah, like vinyl records and stuff like that. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's more for the parents or, you know, but
Yeah, it's
we
guys
for
like
us it's
me.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, yeah. No, dude, I grew up on vinyl records, man. If I had any idea how much some of those were worth, I wouldn't have been trying to fucking scratch on them like a DJ, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Same with the cards. Same with the
yeah,
cards. But you don't care about it when you're young. You
yeah. At the
don't care about it. You
time,
want to play with the stuff.
yeah, and like the unopened stuff, that was unfathomable for me as a kid. How do you get a toy and not open it? But like I said,
Yeah,
that
I
stuff's
couldn't
worth
wait
a
to
lot of
open it.
money. Yeah, exactly. If I had any idea how much I was losing by opening that toy, fuck.
Yeah, I would have never thought to keep it sealed.
Yeah, your parents don't think about it when you're a kid and all that. Oh, just throw it away.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. So as we kind of get to the nitty gritty, so what do you have coming up? What can you share with us, project wise, that you have coming up for the fans that we can look forward to expecting?
So yeah, actually next in less than 4 weeks, I have a really cool collab coming. Then 2 weeks after, I have another collab coming that's really huge, and people are waiting for it already. And yeah, I think actually since like till June, I already have releases scheduled. So yeah, some cool tracks are coming. Hope the people will love them.
Oh, you're gonna have a monster year.
Yeah, I've been working a lot last year, and also of course the year just started, but yeah, let's see.
You both can agree that quarantine really helped everybody just create as much as they can.
I mean, some people used it and some people didn't. So yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ty. I found that to be like I know again, I know it's a tough, touchy subject because of so much negativity happened around the world, obviously,
yeah,
and I don't want to discredit that. But personally speaking, yeah, I was afforded the opportunity to just get in and dive into to production, and like I said, all those tools that weren't available to us years ago, I was able to use those tutorial Thursdays to understand layering and EQing and so forth. So yeah, I think those who took advantage of that from a production standpoint, I think you're kind of starting to see the fruit of that labor come to fruition.
yeah. But I think also a lot of people really got like they were missing some inspiration during the lockdown because they were just sitting at home and stuff. But for me, it was really a problem. But I think there are a lot of guys that couldn't really, get in front of the DAW and do something creative and productive, which really sucks. But yeah,
Yeah, because shows and all that gave me so much motivation, like a lot of other people we know as well, to see
yeah,
a live show. And then you go back to the studio and just make bangers.
yeah, exactly. But I just used the time as much as best as I could and as much as I could to make like new music and a lot of new music. And yeah, let's see. This year will be very, very interesting.
Well, we appreciate you being on the show, man. It means a lot to us that you took the time out.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot of cool stories, Steve. I look forward to
Yes, it
watching
was
this
so
back.
fun.
I look forward to talking football with you as we get in towards the
Yes,
Super Bowl. So we will be following up with you in the Discord, and yeah, we'll be watching the games together for sure.
yes. Me and my friend were trying to set up like Super Bowl, like a football stadium for food. So I don't know. Do you know like do you have those things in America as well? Like do you set up like the football stadium with like food stuff?
Yeah, we call it
Yeah.
tailgating. Yeah.
Okay,
So you'll
nice.
get
Yeah.
there. Yeah, you get to the parking lot. You set up your barbecue. You tailgate ahead of time. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
you basically decorate your food in a way that it looks like the football stadium.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, that's different. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Well, you are a chef. You are you could be a future chef. So I imagine
We
that's
got to see those pictures.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was, dude. Got to put
we'll
that on your
try it.
Instagram.
Yeah,
I gotta see it.
definitely. If we make it, I will definitely put it up on Instagram. But we were just talking about it would be a really cool idea, and we were just looking up like pictures on the internet, and actually there are a lot of people that did a really great job on putting the food exactly together that it looks like the football stadium.
Oh, that's interesting.
Really
Yeah, I've never
crazy.
tried that. Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that's it for this episode of Voices of the Underground. I want to give a big thank you to our guest, Steve W., for being on. You could go and follow him on Instagram at Steve W. And you could go and follow my co host at Robert Go on Instagram. And you can follow myself at Young Ty on Instagram. We also have a Discord that we would love for you guys to join. The link is in the description. Steve W is a part of it as well, too. So come on in and hang out with us. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Voices of the Underground. Thanks, guys.
Take care.